taken their tracksuit tops off now, so I can confirm that they are in their traditional blue and white striped shirts, white shorts and white socks. Crawley, of course, are all in red. 3 changes for Crawley, 2 for the visitors, and 1 change in the commentary box here this evening. It is, of course, me, Gary Smith, commentating on tonight's game on the iFollow service for you. And no Tony Vesey this evening, because I think he's off gallivanting for some sort of Christmas party. So Ken Blackmore is alongside me, as he normally is at away games. We'll come to Ken in just a moment. We are updating the radio listeners throughout the course of the game on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey, as referee Mr Neild just make sure that he's got everybody in place. The players take the knee just for a split second, and on the next whistle this Sky Bet League 2 fixture will be off and underway. No change of ends, as I say, and Hesson Tara gets the game underway for Crawley Town, playing from right to left in this first period, chasing back-to-back wins for the new boss Matthew Etherington, who's already inside his technical area, and already Crawley have won the ball back in midfield. Cerula tries to slide it down the touchline, but it's jabbed out of play by Sterry, one of the 2 changes made by Hartlepool boss Keith Curl this evening. Cerula takes the throw into the feet of Balaghese. Cerula, of course, with the opening goal of the Matthew Etherington reign last Saturday, late on in the game, as Nadesan tries to battle down to the touchline. Just sort of loses his balance slightly though, and the ball is just jabbed out of play, and it will be a goal kick to Hartlepool in these early stages. Killip is going to be the man to take it, as I think we're just going to update the radio listeners for the first time this evening in these very, very early stages of this game. Killip gets it clear. Nadesan goes up to try and win it. Tony Craig gets it forward. It has literally just kicked off, David. We've just played just over a minute. Obviously no goals at the present time. Looks like the pitch is going to play an interesting part in tonight's fixture, because it seems to be getting a little bit more frozen and a little bit more bobbly and a little bit harder for the players minute by minute as it goes on. The covers were on for a long time today, but they're off now. The game goes ahead. 3 changes for Crawley, 2 for the visitors. Don't take anything for granted though, David, just because Hartlepool are bottom of the table, but Crawley will be seeing this as a great opportunity to pick up another 3 points for boss Matthew Etherington. Goalless at the moment though, with 90 seconds gone. And Hartlepool themselves have got a free kick over on that far side, as the game just settles into some sort of pattern. It's played left-footed up towards the edge of the Crawley penalty area. Breaks down on this near side, but Cerula's happy to just shepherd the ball out of play as Silla tried to close him down, and it will be a goal kick to Crawley then, away to our right-hand side. A good opportunity for me to bring Ken into the action. Ken, good to have you alongside me this evening in the absence of Tony. But like I just said to the radio listeners there, the pitch as the game goes on, Ken, is going to get harder. It's probably going to get more difficult for the players. It might have a bit of a balancing factor, because when you look at this, Crawley will fancy their chances of 3 points, with Hartlepool being bottom of the table, but that really doesn't come into play when you maybe look at the conditions they've got to play in. Yeah, that's right, Gary. And I mean, the covers have been on all week. They put them on sort of Tuesday, I think, and so it's been covered up all week. They took them off about 5 past tonight, and as you quite rightly say, it looks like it's just icing up a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah. The throw down the line is knocked out of play, and it will be a Hartlepool throw on this near side. Hamilton and Umera both came in to get it. Josh Umera, actually, Ken, I was just looking at the stats, and despite Hartlepool's position, Josh Umera in double figures already for goals this season in all competitions is clearly a bit of a threat. I guess their problem is they're conceding too many at the other end, and it could be interesting here what they try to do, the visitors, if they do manage to get their noses in front. But Tony Craig and the other Crawley Town defenders, as well as goalkeeper Ellery Balcom, who's well kitted out for this evening in some long tracksuit bottoms just underneath his shorts, I can see, away to our right hand side. They'll be doing their best to maintain this nice run of clean sheets that Crawley have gotten at home in the last few games, as Hartlepool try to battle away for the ball on that far side. Tilly knocks it out of play. It takes a little deflection. It was Tumblety who was over there for Hartlepool. Their boss Keith Curl, Ken, is a name well known around the Leagues 1 and League 2. He's managed a lot of different clubs. He's been in relegation fights before, Keith Curl. He knows what it takes to get a side out of relegation problems. He's also been at the other end of the table, obviously, and has been in many promotion battles as well over his time, both as a player and as a manager, Keith Curl. That's right, Gary. He's an excellent manager, isn't he? Was an excellent player as well. Yeah. You know, for Manchester City and whoever else he plays for. Yeah. I mean, he was a true professional, I think. He was. He was a veteran of over 700 games for the various clubs that he played for, and that included as well gaining 3 England caps. And he's been down here a couple of times before with various clubs, hasn't he, Ken? He has managed Carlisle, Oldham, Notts County, Torquay, Northampton. Took over at Hartlepool in September 2022, so he's only been in the role for sort of 3 months or so, but he has a real fight on his hands with the position that Hartlepool currently find themselves in. Ball breaks on his near side for Naderson, who gets it back into the feet of Cerula. 4.5 minutes played, and Tony Craig is able to just get the ball square just outside the 18-yard box for Ellery Balcombe to hammer it clear. Header is won by Sterry, touches it forward into the feet of Silla, just about on the halfway line. Gets it back into the feet of the number 23, Menayesi, who plays it back to goalkeeper Ben Killip. Gets it onto his left foot and gets it clear. Hessenthaler with a free header in the centre circle. Telford couldn't get involved in the game, Ken, because he would have been offside.
Yep.
And it goes all the way through to Killip. A couple of people are on the social media already. Jack's there. Going to be a cold one, Gary, but we're all looking forward to plenty of goals from the Reds to warm us up. And he's thinking something like 3-0 and 3 much-needed points. Hunter's on there as well. Lovely day to sit in New York City with friends, watch the World Cup, watch Crawley Town, and listen to my favourite GTS Sport commentate. Oh, thank you very much, Hunter. That's very nice of you. I hadn't read that before, Ken. That wasn't big in myself. I hadn't read through that one before.
Well said, Hunter. That's it. Well said. Boy.
Bit Futures also says, let's get 3 here. There's plenty of people who think that this is going to be a bit of a, well, for Hunter's benefit, a walk in Central Park, I guess. Yeah. But I think it's going to be far from that for Crawley here this evening, Ken, just because of the league position, as we mentioned. But the home form has been good for Crawley Town recently. Cerula's taken a bit of a bundle over there. The referee's allowed play to go on. Silla trying to come away with the ball, but he's tackled by his opposing number 20, Balagizi, who breaks towards the left-hand side of the box. Slightly outruns it, goes over once again. Referee waves away appeals for a Crawley Town free kick. He's trying to allow the game to flow as referee Mr. Neal, and Umera holds it up, and Hartlepool look to try and get a bit of an overload on their left-hand side. Breaking through into the feet of Hamilton. Joel Lynch in the end inside his D is able to tidy up after a challenge by Travis Johnson. Out to this near side when Naderson gets the flick infield. Menayesi comes away with it. Featherstone can't quite get there. Jack Powell on the halfway line can't quite get it off Menayesi. And in the end it's rolled back to Murray. Forward it goes. Travis Johnson over on that far side is going to be able to deal with it. Hamilton and Tumulty up against him, but he takes the deflection off of the number 26 for Hartlepool. And it goes out of play, and the clock says that we've played just over 6.5 minutes. There is, of course, a World Cup game in action this evening, Ken. People may be watching it at the same time as they're trying to watch or listen to us.
Yeah, and, that's right, yeah.
Anybody that hasn't or isn't, we won't spoil things by giving any latest score at the moment. But anybody who needs to catch up with the highlights of the game that was earlier on this afternoon, safe to say it's one where you might have to give yourself a little bit more time if you're going to watch the whole thing, because it did in the end go to that lottery of a penalty shootout. But again, we won't give away the result of that for anybody who's waiting to see it.
Yeah, one of those games, Gary, isn't it? That bit of a farce when it goes to penalties, isn't it? You know, when players are a bit, I mean, I think they said Brazil played 18 matches to get to this final. Yeah. And then to go out on penalties in the quarter-final is a bit of a travesty. But I suppose that's football now.
2 more quarter-finals in the World Cup, of course, tomorrow. Morocco versus Portugal at 3 o'clock, and then a certain game at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, Ken, involving England against the French.
Yes, another
defending champions, and a big test for Gareth Southgate's men.
Yeah, another game to look forward to, Gary. Yeah, and also the other match as well. I mean, you know. Yep. It's going to be a tight weekend.
Forget the World Cup though, Ken. This is where it's at tonight.
Yeah, it is.
Sky Bet League 2.
Exactly.
Many points up for grabs. Inside the penalty area. Doesn't quite break for Hamilton. He almost sneaks it out to that far side. Hessenthaler slides in and makes the clearance and gets it forward to Telford. And Telford almost releases Naderson. And Sterry did just about enough and managed to jab the ball into the feet of Ferguson, who gets it back to Killip. But on the counter-attack, Crawley were very, very nearly away. But Hartlepool picked the ball up and worked it out to that left-hand side for Tumulty, playing as a left wing-back, trying to get to the byline, trying to get inside Travis Johnson. Bit of poor control, and they break forward into the box again. Over he goes, the Hartlepool striker, but the referee waving away some half-hearted appeals for a penalty. And it's played forward by Cerula, taken under control by Menayesi, who's being driven out towards this near side. It's clipped forward down the near touchline. Tony Craig comes across and gets it into Hessenthaler, and it's touched off to Cerula, and forward it goes to Naderson. Nice bit of play by Crawley. In the end, the touch comes off for Silla, and it goes away. But in fairness to Hartlepool, Ken, even in these opening exchanges, we've played just coming up for 9 minutes. The 2 wing-backs of Sterry and Tumulty, particularly Tumulty down the left-hand side, is definitely trying to get forward more than he's actually defending at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're a bad team, Gary, just because they're bottom of the league. As you know, in this league, I think any team can beat any team with the way the fixtures go.
Yep.
So, I mean, obviously we'll be looking for a result tonight. 1 or 2-0, 3-0, or even as people are suggesting, would look nice. But as I say, they're no mugs this team, and Crawley got to be about their wits.
Yeah, absolutely. I think before the opening game for Matt Etherington last weekend, Ken, plenty of people talked about 4 points out of the 6 that were available from the 2 home games, and that he had a decent start in terms of having 2 home games before Crawley travelled to Tranmere Rovers next weekend. But I think people looked at maybe the Swindon game as where Crawley would get the 1 point and the 3 points would come here tonight.
Yeah.
But having got the 3 points last week, not that last Saturday would count for nothing if they didn't win tonight, but I think they'll be frustrated if they don't get the 3 points here tonight.
Yeah, I suppose, obviously, as you say, as they're bottom of the league, they are looking for 3 points, aren't they?
Yeah.
But if we go by what we said, at 4 points from the 2 games, I suppose will it take a draw tonight?
Yep. Well, they are currently rock bottom of the League 2 table, are Hartlepool. It's only their 2nd season back in the league after a few seasons in the non-league. You and I were there at the start of last season, Ken, weren't we, on the opening day of the season?
Fantastic support they had there, Gary.
Yeah, incredible support.
Talking to their media today, it's frazzled out a bit this season.
Well, there's a decent turnout behind that goal away to our left-hand side that Hartlepool are currently defending to make the journey on a Friday. If those fans have travelled down from the northeast today, then we take our hat off to them.
Exactly.
My woolly hat that I'm wearing to try and keep the chill out just a little bit. But
and my Adidas hat. Oh, I'm not going to say that.
There might be a London branch or southern branch of the Hartlepool Supporters Club.
I mean, it took their media team nearly 6 hours to get down today, Gary.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing to come down. Again, what time are they going to get back home tonight?
Well, if they travel back tonight, it's got to be a good 5 or 6 hours. It's going to be much like us having to make the journey back, obviously, from Barrow or somewhere like that. Naderson, left-hand side of the box, gets inside Sterry, edge of the box, Balaghese shoots, and it just goes up and over the top of the bar. Decent half chance. Ashley Naderson did well on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Sterry lost his footing on the frozen pitch, Ken. Naderson pulled it back into the feet of Balaghese, who maybe should have done a little bit better with the shot when he got it out of his feet.
Slightly on his wrong foot, I think, though, Gary. I think it came to his left foot, and with the way their defenders are positioned, I don't think he had a lot of choice than to take it with his left, but he sort of scuffed it in the air a bit and just over the bar. Yeah.
Was finding the net before his injury was James Balaghese. He does have 3 goals to his name so far this season.
Yeah.
But just good to see him back out there after that lengthy injury that kept him out of the side. Lynch goes up to win the ball against Hamilton, but it's flicked on into the feet of Umera. Once again, 3 or 4 red shirts crowding around the man on the ball, just as they were last week. Long ball forward by Cerula down this near side. Telford goes after it. Menezes goes with him. Telford spins away from the defender, gets inside the box, goes over. Referee waves it away. Telford still down on the floor. He ended up on all 4s, and he's still down at the moment. Naderson has the ball on this near side, escapes the attentions of Silla. Telford just gingerly picking himself up as Crawley have kept possession and worked it back to Nick Cerula, left-hand side of the box, dances around a couple of challenges, still going the Crawley number 25. In the end, Hartlepool are able to snuff out the danger and slide it forward down this near side, but Tony Craig, veteran of 701 games as it is now tonight, was there to make the interception, and it's worked back into the feet of Joel Lynch.
Bit difficult for us to see what happened in the box there with Dom, and but as I say, he's gingerly got back to his feet and back to position now, but I didn't see any reason for him to want to go over.
No,
he was just sending through, but
I think he might have just sort of lost his footing maybe on the surface, Ken, as he tried and tried to keep himself and the ball in play. Crawley have done well to work it into the feet of Powell, who slid it forward down that inside right channel, looking for Tilley, who we haven't mentioned too much in these opening 13 minutes or so, Ken. James Tilley maybe needs to get himself involved in the game a little bit more, but everything that Crawley have done so far of an attacking mode has come down the left-hand side.
Yeah, it's sort of left in the pattern, like, isn't it? Cerula and Naderson out on the left-hand side here. Yeah. And that was Balaghase's got back into the club, into the side.
Ashley Naderson certainly playing more down the left-hand side. Umera and Lynch have gone in for a challenge. The linesman has flagged. And it will be a free kick to the visitors on this right-hand side. The clock just approaching 14 minutes played. Joel Lynch, as I mentioned earlier, wearing the armband tonight for Crawley in the absence of George Frankham. And Ashley Naderson is now just sat on his backside, just in front of our commentary position. He's given the thumbs up to the bench. Crawley have got Harry Ransom, Jaden Davis, Remy Oti, Mazida Gongbo and Caleb Chukwuemeka as the outfield options for boss Matt Etherington, as well as goalkeeper Corey Adai being there. Substitutes for the visitors: Kyle Leatherin is their reserve goalkeeper, Wes McDonald, Joe Gray, Clark Adur, Mark Shelton, Jake Hasty and Christopher Missilu. Crawley on their travels for their next league fixture, taking us up to the Wirral, Ken, next Saturday.
Yep.
3 o'clock kickoff against Tranmere Rovers at Prenton Park. Always a lovely place to go.
Yeah, I like it there, Gary, as well, yeah.
Be a big partisan, vociferous crowd, won't there, behind the home side, as they're looking to cement their place in the top half of the table and edge themselves up towards the playoffs. 3 o'clock kickoff on that one, of course. Ken and I with you on the iFollow from 5 to 3 that afternoon, before Sutton United come here on Boxing Day. And then it's the rearranged fixture away at Stevenage on the 30th of December. That's the 2 games between Christmas and New Year. Sutton at home, Stevenage away. Just a reminder as well that early on in January, the game that should have been played here on the 7th of January against Grimsby Town has now been moved, and the date has been set because Grimsby are in FA Cup third round action on that day, and the date has been set. And in fact, Ashley Nelson is limping off the pitch here. The linesman's made the signal that Crawley are going to have to make a change.
Oh, wow.
It looks very much like the end of Ashley Nelson's night, very early on, Ken. Well, they had to make a change early on in the game last week.
Substitution for Crawley Town midfield, number 10, Ashley Nelson.
Jaden Davis coming on.
Yeah, Jaden Davis coming on.
18, Jaden Davis.
Which has surprised me just a wee bit, Ken, when you've got the likes of Remy Oti and Chukwuemeka both on the bench.
Yeah, well,
Harry Ransom is also coming on. And Crawley making a double change here, actually, because Joel Lynch is coming off as well.
That's a big blow.
Yeah.
Well, they both have big blows.
He's handed the armband on to Tony Craig.
Lynch and Nelson.
Both Lynch and Nelson are off. Jaden Davis and Harry Ransom are the 2 players that have come on. So last week it was the injury to Teddy Jenks that forced James Tilley to have to come on early in the game, but tonight it's a double substitution, and Crawley have still got some defending to do from this set piece that Hartlepool have got just to the right hand side of the penalty area as they attack. Sterry standing out on the right hand side. Will he get the ball? It's going to be delivered into that near post area. Hammered away though by the Crawley defence.
Yeah, I saw Teddy Jenks today, Gary, in the gym downstairs.
Okay.
And he said that his injury wasn't as bad as he had first suspected, so
good.
He's hopefully going to be out for a couple of weeks.
Ball is up towards the edge of the Crawley penalty. It's tucked round the corner. It's an early touch for Harry Ransom, who gets it into the feet of Jaden Davis. So both subs getting a little touch early on. Forward towards Telford. Interception is made, but it breaks only for Balagizi. Nobody really wanted to put a foot on the ball just at the moment. Hessenthaler tries to find Telford on this near side. Cerula makes an interception inside his own half, gets it into the feet of Powell. Powell goes back to Hessenthaler, and he opens up the play and sweeps it across to that far side where it's taken under control by Travis Johnson, who goes back into the feet of Harry Ransom, who was another player that was having a good season until he was disrupted by injury as well, Ken.
Exactly, yeah. That's good to see Harry coming back from injury as well tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Cerula slides it down the touchline. Maybe something to ask Matt Etherington about after the game tonight. The 2 changes that Crawley have had to make early on. Nelson and Lynch, the 2 players going off. Tony Craig now wearing the captain's armband, and mentioning that chat with Matthew Etherington, of course, reaction after the game from the Crawley Town boss and also one of the players. Looking back on this one and looking ahead to the game away, as I mentioned, at Tranmere Rovers next Saturday afternoon. It's a throw to Hartlepool on this near side, just in front of the technical areas. We are goalless, 18 minutes in. Down the line by Sterry. Cerula got there first ahead of Hamilton, only knocks it out of play though, and they've just gained about 20 yards or so down the touchline, Ken.
Yeah, that's as you say, the game's been played a little bit more in our half than it has in theirs at the moment, Gary.
Yeah.
Obviously those 2 substitutions is going to upset the tempo just a little bit.
Yeah, it may well have done. It might take the substitutes a couple of minutes to sort of warm up to the game and everything.
For Jaden to sort of get into the flow of things, and obviously coming back from injury, and also you've got to look at it from sort of Harry Ransom's point of view.
Yeah. Sterry with the ball in his hands. throws it towards the goal line. O'Meara drives it right across. It's still inside the penalty area. Breaks for Silla, pulls it back. Ferguson on his left foot, thought about a shot, runs it out to that far side instead. Tumblety tries to get away from James Tilley, gets it back though into the feet of Ferguson. Looks for a right-footed cross, doesn't quite get anything on it. Is there a foul there? Whistle doesn't go. Sterry keeps it in play. Davis was the man who went over. It's worked into the area by Cook and out on this near side, and he's just going to try and let the ball run out. Davis is just putting pressure on him. In the end, it comes off the back of Callum Cook, and it goes out of play for what will be a Crawley Town throw. Taken early by Cerula into the feet of Hessenthaler, and then it runs, just dribbles over the touchline and out of play for what will be this time a Hartlepool throw, right in front of our commentary position.
This looks like one of those games, Gary, where if you think you've been fouled, you've got to stay on your feet.
Yeah.
Not sort of go, oh, I've been fouled, fall over.
No. But you just sort of get the feeling, Ken, that the referee might be sort of taking the surface into consideration, mightn't he, as, you know,
hopefully, yes.
Thinking, well, maybe the player just lost his foot in, or
I mean, there was definitely a foul on Jaden down here.
Yeah.
But because the way he went over, it led the referee to believe that's what could have happened, yeah.
Yeah. Travis Johnson has let the ball run out of play, and it will be a goal kick. And we're just going to update the radio listeners tonight to BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. Goalless at the present time, David. We've played 20.5 minutes. Crawley started very, very brightly. A lot of possession inside the Hartlepool half of the field. Best chance came courtesy of James Balaghese after some good work down the left-hand side of the penalty area by Ashley Nallison. Balaghese just with a bit of a heavy first touch, got it onto his left foot, but then put the shot up and over the top of the crossbar. The ball's inside the Crawley area at the moment. The goalkeeper Balcombe comes to grab it. Crawley's little bit of flow has been disrupted slightly though, because after 16 minutes they had to make a double substitution. Striker Ashley Nallison and skipper Joel Lynch had to go off to be replaced by Jaden Davis and Harry Ransom. Hartlepool almost seized on it. They had a couple of dangerous balls into the penalty area from corners and a free kick as well. But we are still goalless. Approaching the halfway point in the first half, David. It's Crawley 0, Hartlepool 0. Here's Tony Craig. Gets it out to this near side into the feet of Nick Cerula. Cuts in field but can't quite see an option in front of him. Lays it back into the feet of Craig, who goes square into the feet of Harry Ransom. Hartlepool are certainly trying to play high up the field, Ken, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah,
and sort of force Crawley into sort of having to play it square and work hard for anything they can do in an advanced position, as Tilley gets it square across the edge of the centre circle in Hartlepool territory to Balaghese. Helps it on one more to Cerula. In comes the cross, headed clear by the Hartlepool defence, seized upon by Hessenthaler. Back to the feet of Cerula again on this left-hand side, into the feet of Balaghese, who turns away from trouble, looks for options on the right-hand side. In the end, he gives it to Jack Powell. Powell twists and turns and looks for an option, and in the end, gives it here to Hessenthaler, who has to scurry after it just a little bit, but keeps it in play. Can only come back, though, into the feet of Tony Craig. 10 yards or so inside his own half. Just about to hit the halfway point of the first half, which has absolutely flown by, Ken.
Yeah.
Given that we haven't had a goal, it's gone very, very quickly, that opening 22.5 minutes. And Tony Craig has it on this left-hand side. Now the skipper for Crawley this evening, just being forced very, very tight to the touchline, slides it forward, but Menayesi is able to just shepherd it back to Killip, but Killip, the goalkeeper, gets a little bit underneath his clearance and just scoops it out of play on this near side. The man who's a former Grimsby Town goalkeeper was actually born in the same town as me, Ken, in West London, their keeper tonight.
Oh, was he?
Born in Isleworth, the 27-year-old goalkeeper for Hartlepool this evening. Cerula this time goes over under pressure from O'Meara, and this time the referee does call it for a foul. Has refereed Crawley once already this season. Mr. Neild, who's in charge of things here tonight, took charge of our goalless draw at Harrogate back in August, Ken, when it was much different weather to this one, as I seem to remember.
Yeah, it was. Totally different, Gary.
Yeah.
That's England for you, isn't it? You get these the different seasons of the year.
He's had 16 games so far this season. The referee for tonight, 44 yellow cards. Yet to show a red card at all this season, and we hope that's still the case. Come close of play this evening. We don't want to see players sent off.
No, from either team, you're right.
No. Crawley with a free kick just a few yards in from the touchline, approaching 24 minutes played. Jack Powell leaves it for Tilley, left-footed, into the penalty area. Headed away, though, doesn't quite beat the first man. And it goes out of play. Matthew Etherington, hands in pockets. inside his technical area, just sort of prowling along, just hoping that his side can make that breakthrough. But did have to be patient last weekend, because Swindon enjoyed a lot of possession.
They did.
Crawley didn't make the breakthrough until sort of getting on for the final 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I thought they were quite a good team, Swindon, last week, and we done well to come away with the win.
Yeah. Cerula gets the throw back into the feet of Tony Craig. He goes square into the centre circle for Harry Ransom. Sweeps it out one more to the far side for Travis Johnson. Tight on that far touchline it goes into the feet of Tilly. Once again, Hartlepool working hard to keep their shape, and it's a misplaced pass in the end. It was supposed to find Harry Ransom, and it just goes out of play a little bit lamely for what will be a Hartlepool throw.
Yeah, it wasn't very good that far side.
No, it wasn't, no. I think it's what they call in tennis terms, Ken, an unforced error.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Just trying to find Harry Ransom. Either Ransom took his eye off the ball, or the player that played the pass back, which I think was Tilly, took his eye off the ball slightly. Yeah. Crawley have now committed a foul pretty much on the halfway line. It will be a free kick to the visitors. Just going back to the referee, Tom Neal. He has had 9 Crawley games before, Ken. 2 victories, 2 draws and 5 defeats in the games where he's refereed the Reds before. And Killip, just a few yards inside his own half, is going to play the free kick for Hartlepool, diagonal out towards that far side. Takes a couple of deflections, breaks for Umera, almost on the goal line. Into the box it comes, played away by Travis Johnson, then it's fired across the goal and it whipped away from everybody. Ellery Balcom was quite confident nobody was going to get on it. Sterry was trying to make ground up to get in onto the far post, Ken, but slightly overhit, and Crawley maybe get away with one.
Yeah, it was a good ball across the box, wasn't it, Gary? They didn't have anyone coming in. I said it might have been an even better ball, but
yeah,
as you say, Ellery had it well covered.
Yeah, he did. And he's played a little short one too from the goal kick. Gets it forward for Davis. Can't quite get it under control. Can't quite break for Balaghese. Everybody misses it. The ball stayed where it was. Featherstone, the skipper for Hartlepool, gets it clear. Tony Craig wins the header. Nick Cerula on this near side gets it into the feet of Jake Hessenthaler, who sweeps it across to Travis Johnson on the halfway line. Looking for options ahead of him, but once again, credit to Hartlepool, because they've kept their shape well, Ken.
Yeah.
They forced Crawley to go back and try and start from scratch again. And here's Cerula now on this near side. Into the feet of Powell. Maybe Crawley have got to be a little bit canny in what they do, Ken. Maybe a little bit more thoughtful in what they do. A little bit more insightful.
I've seen Tilly on the far side when the ball's gone over that way. He sort of 5 or 6 yards from his man looking for the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
And we turn back in and come the other way. So I think Tilly's sort of not getting frustrated, but I think he wants the ball to his feet. He'd be 1-on-1, sort of. He might be able to get past the defender.
Jack Powell's gone in to make a challenge on Silla on this near side. And it goes out of play for what this time will be a Hartlepool throw. And it's Jamie Sterry, one of the 2 changes made by boss Keith Curl tonight. He came in, and Jack Hamilton also came in to the starting 11 from the side that were, well, beaten rather heavily at home last weekend, Ken. They lost 5-0 at home to Stockport. Former boss Dave Challoner, of course, going back to haunt his old club, going back there with Stockport County.
How many times does that happen, Gary? The old manager goes back. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, they don't have a win to their name on the road so far this season, Hartlepool. They only have 2 points out of the 30 that they could have picked up on their travels. Crawley 11th in the home form table, thanks to that recent run of decent form that they've had. 16 points out of the 30 that have been available. Took a while to pick up a home victory, Ken, but Crawley unbeaten in the last few here at home and keeping clean sheets into the bargain. If you keep a clean sheet, there's no way you can lose the game.
That's right, you did right. And as you quite rightly said, we played pretty well at home. Haven't played that badly away, but we sort of sometimes I don't think we get the run of the green when we're away.
No, well, we're still awaiting a first away win, of course, in the league. Only 3 draws.
That's right.
Here's Davis on this left-hand side, cuts away from a couple of blue and white shirted players, goes after the ball, goes over on the edge of the box. Once again, the referee waves it away, and Tumulty gets the ball just inside his own half, slides it forward towards Umera. Well read, though, by Harry Ransom, who did well, not just to get there, but to come away with the ball. And Travis Johnson has also done well to turn away from his man, making strides down that right-hand side, into the feet of Telford, who just showed a little bit too much of it to Menayesi. Otherwise, he was looking to turn and face goal, Dom Telford. You could see exactly what he was trying to do, Ken.
Yeah.
Turn and face the opposition goal, which a good striker would be doing.
That's right, and just sort of lost control there for a split second, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that's what it takes, Gary, and the ball's gone.
Well, like we've mentioned, Ken, it is a a frosty, bobbly surface. It doesn't look any worse than the match that I was watching a bit of last night, and the game at Gillingham in the FA Cup when they played Dagenham and Redbridge.
Yeah, I watched that as well, yeah.
Talking of the FA Cup, Hartlepool, and we talked about Grimsby earlier on not being able to play here at Crawley because they're involved in the FA Cup. Hartlepool are still in the FA Cup as well, and they have a game that weekend.
Oh, wow.
They're playing on the 8th of January against Championship side Stoke City. Sterry gets the ball, cuts in field away from Cerula, onto his left foot, gets the shot away, Balcom makes the save, and just about pounces on it before Hamilton was able to get there. Sterry got away from Nick Cerula just a little bit too easily for my liking, Ken.
Yeah, he did.
He got the shot away well, but thankfully, straight down the throat of Ellery Balcom.
Yeah, and Ellery, obviously, you wouldn't expect him to drop that in front, but he had one of their forwards steaming in on him if he had just let go of the grass.
Yeah. Ball's on the halfway line with Cerula. He gets it back into the feet of Tony Craig. Just about to hit the half-an-hour mark here at the Broadfield Stadium. Crawley 0, Hartlepool 0. Crawley just one defeat in their last 8 games, of course, courtesy of a lot of that time being under the management of Lewis Young, who sort of steadied the ship a little bit, didn't he, Ken, from the position that Crawley did find themselves in after the sacking of Kevin Betsy.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. He did a good job, Lewis. But he's a good coach. He knows football in and out, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And as Tony and I said last week, and I'll say it again now, the game will be better for Lewis being back in it as soon as possible. Summer, he's got a great deal to offer any club that wants to take on his services in the future.
Yeah, definitely agree with that, Gary.
Harry Ransom gets it into the feet of Hessenthaler. Over to this near side for Nick Cerula. Jack Powell goes on a little bit of an overlap and gets it now, but it's slightly overhit by Cerula, and it just goes out of play. Hartlepool themselves find themselves back at home next weekend when they entertain Newport County before their Boxing Day fixture takes them down to the Crown Oil Arena, the home of Rochdale, and then they're back at home on the 29th of December where they entertain Mansfield Town. They always try and keep things relatively local in terms of games for sides on Boxing Day.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
But not too many local things for Hartlepool, so maybe Rochdale isn't too far to go. Tilly breaking forward, edge of the box, gets the shot away. Blocked and up in the air. It's going to break for Jaden Davis. Round the corner into the feet of Telford, left-hand side of the box. Holds it up and gets it back into the feet of Cerula. Here's Jack Powell, just outside the area. Clips one across. Tilly was looking to come in on the far side. Hartlepool come away with the ball though in the shape of Cook. Just inside his own half, just twisting, turning, not too much ahead of him. Tumbleton making strides on that far side. Menayesi though just gets it square into the feet of Murray, and Murray goes one more out to that far side for Ferguson. Long ball forward looking for Hamilton, but Ransom read it well. Knocks the ball out of play over the top of the east stand, and we will have to have another ball come into play as we just tick over 32 minutes played. Crawley's just one defeat in the last 8. Ken, was that game at Walsall where we were just a few weeks ago, and even that was a defeat sort of in stoppage time. That's right, wasn't it, when it looked like it was going to sort of head to a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, and we played quite well, didn't we? We always seem to play well at Walsall. Yeah. It's one of our places we like going to.
Yeah. Crawley, in fact, in the form table for the last 8 games are 6th at the moment. Yeah. 15 points out of 24, and Hartlepool themselves bottom in terms of the form table in the last 8 games, just 3 points out of the 24 that they've had available. Wow. But they've acquitted themselves okay here tonight so far. It's relatively even Stevens.
I mean, if you walked in there, Gary, and someone told you that stat that you've just produced, yeah, they wouldn't believe you, would they? No. They've only had 3 good points in the last 25 that are available. No. And I mean, they're playing quite well. There were a couple of connections that I was able to find, Ken, in terms of players that have played for both clubs. One name was a goalkeeper that might mean more to you than it did to me, actually, because I think it was before my time. Mitchell Beanie. Yeah, Mitch Beanie. Mitch Beanie, yeah. Just one appearance for Crawley in 2016, 2017, and 6 appearances for Hartlepool between 2019 and 2020. And also a player that was familiar to me a couple of seasons ago, Ken, Mason Bloomfield. Oh yeah, well Mason, was here. How many did he play for Hartlepool then, Gary? He played 22 games and scored 2 goals for Hartlepool. He played 21 games and scored 3 goals for Crawley. Here's Nick Cerula for the current Crawley side. Pings it out towards that far side, but the flag has gone up, and it will be an offside decision. Yeah, well, I suppose when you think about it, Gary, players like they do tend to stick in the area of the country they come from, don't they? You know, to a lot of extent. So. Yeah. wouldn't be many players that have played this far south and that far north, if you know what I mean.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I was expecting not to find anybody, Ken, where there was a connection that had played for the two clubs.
Yeah, you could be right there.
Mitch Beanie was one, Mason Bloomfield was another. Very, very cold evening here this evening at the Broadfield Stadium. Could do with a goal or something to warm us up, Ken.
Yeah, something to cheer about or whatever, get upset about.
Fair play to anybody, home or away supporters who've made the effort to come out here tonight when they could have stayed in the warm and watched the big World Cup quarter-final between the Netherlands and Argentina. Harry Ransom hooks the ball clear from just inside his own penalty area. Doesn't quite break on that far side, but the deflection breaks into the path of Hessenthaler. Davis on this left-hand side will get it now, courtesy of Nick Cerula on the halfway line, the substitute for Crawley. Cuts in field and then plays a big long ball across to that far side where Travis Johnson is inside Hartlepool territory and slides it out to that far side for James Tilley. Cuts back onto his favoured left foot and just gives it into the feet of Powell. Powell chips one across looking for Cerula. First touch takes him backwards slightly, but he turns now and faces the opposition goal and plays it into the feet of Jaden Davis. Comes in field to Balagizi. Little deflection comes off of Silla and it goes out of play. Crawley have themselves a throw. Cerula takes it early into the feet of Davis. Here's Hessenthaler. Switches the play brilliantly out to that far side. Little nod forward by Travis Johnson. Tilley gets it under control and finds Jack Powell. 10 minutes to go of the regulation 45 here in the first half at the Broadfield Stadium. And here's Nick Cerula on this left-hand side for Crawley. Can they find a way through before the break? Short into the feet of Hessenthaler. Here's Tilley again, just outside the penalty area. Johnson on the overlap. Tilley cuts in field, clips it goalwards. It goes over the top of Jaden Davis. The header clear, only reaches Balagizi. Still on the edge of the penalty area. Can't quite get it out of his feet. Can't quite get it to Jack Powell, but Balagizi battles well and keeps control of the ball and in the end gets it back into the feet of Hessenthaler. Here's Balagizi again. Plays it in field, but it's an easy interception made on the edge of the box by Hartlepool, but Ransom wins it back for Crawley. And then courtesy of Hessenthaler it goes into the feet of Craig. Now Jack Powell slides it forward into the feet of Telford. Flag stays down. Tilley picks up the ball halfway inside the Hartlepool half. Travis Johnson comes forward on the overlap. A little bit of a loose pass from James Tilley. Didn't quite reach his man, and in the end Ferguson is able to shepherd it back into the gloves of goalkeeper Killip. Yeah, Hartlepool get the opportunity to break forward again. Sorry, Ken.
Put him a bit under pressure there, didn't he, with that ball, James Tilley?
Yeah.
He was looking quite promising on that far side.
Yeah.
He didn't quite work it out together.
Crawley 0, Hartlepool 0. Maniesi turns on the ball and gets it back into the feet of Ewan Murray. Playing for his first English club, Ewan Murray, in playing for Hartlepool. Spent all of his playing career in Scotland up until now. The ball is played forward down that far side, takes a couple of reflections, goes out of play for a Crawley Town throw. Taken short by Johnson into the feet of Powell. A little bit of a loose pass, but Cerula will get it under control just on the edge of the box. Gets it back into Tony Craig, who was under pressure from Mumera.
Yep.
Who's closing down the spaces quickly for Hartlepool. In the end, though, Ransom gets it up to the halfway line. Featherstone gets it under control, under pressure from Hessenthaler. Goes back to Ferguson. Forward it goes. Flag stays down. Hamilton gets on the ball. The flag still stays down. Hamilton up against Tony Craig, who's held him up nicely, but they've worked the ball back to that far side. In it comes, and it goes over the top of Umera. It's a relatively straightforward catch in the end for Ellery Balcom, who comes right to the edge of his penalty area before releasing it. Trying to get Telford beyond the last defender there, Ken, wasn't he, with the ball forward from Ellery Balcom that we've seen a few times since the keeper returned to play for Crawley.
I'm not sure about that offside, Gary, just a minute ago.
No.
From where I'm sitting, sort of like one was going back, one was coming forward.
Yeah.
They sort of like crossed each other. But all the fans around where we're sitting thought they was going to get offside, from the officials.
Well, I actually thought the flag was going to go up when he sort of got a touch on the ball, Ken.
Yeah, so
even if he wasn't offside from the original pass. I thought as soon as he got a touch on it, then the flag was going to go up, but nothing doing, and thankfully it came to nothing, and we're 38.5 minutes in, and we still await the opening goal of the evening. Can't tell you anything, obviously, about any other League Two games this evening, because Crawley were the only club with the little bit of common sense maybe in advance, Ken, who decided to move their fixture to the Friday night.
Yeah, that's right.
In the possibility, and it's now turned out to be a reality, that England might be in World Cup quarter-final action tomorrow. there will be plenty of players, supporters and commentators alike who will be watching or listening to the game on coaches or on trains, or listening into coverage on the radio while they're driving home from various games tomorrow.
Yep.
England against France out in Qatar tomorrow night, 7 o'clock kickoff for a place in the semi-finals to face either Portugal or the surprise package, I guess you call them, Ken, of Morocco.
Yeah, that's right. And I watched the Morocco game the other night, Gary, and they played that sort of game where they looked like they didn't want to score until it comes to penalties.
Yeah. Balaghese on the ball for Crawley, into the feet of Craig. Gets it square to Harry Ransom. Approaching the final 5 minutes of the opening 45 here at the Broadfield Stadium. Not too much to write home about at the moment. Balaghese still with the best chance for Crawley after just 12 minutes of play, as the ball is played forward down this left-hand side. Sterry's trying to hold off Jaden Davis. Davis does well to get there and keep the ball in play, but then he sort of double foots it and it just rolls out of play away from the Crawley sub and goes out of play. But he showed a good turn of pace there, Ken, to get to the ball beyond Sterry and also sort of keep the ball under control.
He just slipped there, didn't it, the last minute ago?
Yeah.
As you say, yes. In hindsight, what Crawley's done tonight is a very good thing, but obviously for the Hartlepool fans, they're going to get back early hours of the morning and be able to get up tomorrow and watch the England game.
Yeah. Well, Crawley are closing in on another 45 minutes of not conceding a goal at home, Ken, at the very least, even if they haven't scored at the other end just yet.
Half a match clean sheet,
yeah. Headed forward towards Telford, who tries to turn away from Meniesi. He plays it back into the feet of Murray, and Murray goes back to kill it. The goalkeeper takes it first time. Tony Craig wins the header on the halfway line. Balaghese touches it off. Hessenthaler plays it through, but it's beyond any red-shirted player and just easily goes through into the gloves of goalkeeper Ben Killip. And we just tick around to 41 minutes played, so 4 minutes left of the opening 45. As Ransom comes forward to win the header. Featherstone drives it down into the ground, but it does break on that far side for Tumulty, who plays it in field to find Cook, surrounded by 3 red shirts, but he just about comes away with the ball and he scoops it out to this near side for Sterry. Sterry goes in field to Featherstone, forward to Silla. Silla back to Sterry. Nice bit of possession by Hartlepool. Crawley have got everyone back behind the ball, bar Dom Telford, who since the substitution of Naderson, Kenny, sort of playing as an out-and-out just lone striker, really.
Yeah, he is, yeah. Looks a bit marooned up there on his own, doesn't he, Gary?
Yeah, just a bit isolated, which is why I was a little bit surprised that the substitution didn't bring on Remy Oti or Caleb Chukwuemeka or somebody of that ilk, or even tell James Tilley to go and play further forward.
Yeah,
as it were.
I think they'd be doing that in the second half, Gary, I would think.
Yeah. Still goalless inside these closing stages of the first half. Don't forget Crawley back on the road, as I've mentioned before, next Saturday. A week and a day to get prepared for a game away at Tranmere Rovers. Matt Etherington's first away game, of course, in charge at Prenton Park. Ken and I will be there to bring you full match commentary from 5 to 3 on the iFollow, and we'll have all the usual updates on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey from 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Meniesi just manages to edge the ball away from Dom Telford. Gets it square across the centre circle for Ferguson. Slides it one more out to that far side for Tumulty. Inside to the feet of Cook. Back out to that far touchline. Tumulty under pressure from Hessenthaler. Gets it across to this near side for Meniesi. Forward it goes to Sterry on this near side. Crossing opportunity. Tony Craig read it well though to scoop it away, but with Telford as the only striker up there, Ken, if it doesn't go direct to him, then he's sort of chasing a bit of a lost cause against the back 3 of Hartlepool.
Exactly, so he's got 3 on 1, hasn't he?
Yeah, has at the moment. Tilley's edging forward to try and keep him company just a wee bit. Although he's still a long way from the play.
I was going to say, he's a long way away from him all the time, isn't he? He's right out on that right wing, and Dom's playing up sort of like the centre circle.
Crawley 19th in the table before the start of play, 21 points from 20 games. Hartlepool rock bottom of League 2, just 12 points from the 20 games that they've played. It's difficult when you're in that position though, isn't it, Ken, because you start to find yourself a little bit isolated, and every game that goes by is another game that's gone towards, edging yourself towards safety.
Yeah, it's a horrible position to be in, isn't it, bottom of the league?
Yeah.
Especially as they're, they're not playing too badly tonight, are they?
No.
So you wouldn't take them as the team that's bottom of the league, but it's a horrible position to be in.
There aren't too many teams who, whatever division it is, can sort of survive from being bottom of the table at the Christmas New Year period.
Yeah, that's right. They're normally fighting for their lives, aren't they?
Here's Jaden Davis trying to go around the outside of Sterry, gets it into the box. Jack Powell's coming in on it. Referee has a look and elects to only give a goal kick. We're still awaiting the first corner kick of the evening, Ken, for either side. We haven't seen a corner kick yet at all. Jack Powell just sort of tried to take it in his stride, but overhit it and it goes out of play, and it will just be a goal kick to Hartlepool away to our left. 30 seconds left of the opening 45. And I guess for both Keith Curl and for Matty Everington, who maybe came up against each other in their playing careers again.
Yeah, they might have done.
Just be looking to get into the break on an even kill now, won't they?
Yeah, I think both teams will be happy to go 0-0, Gary, considering they like the conditions and what's going on with, especially with the two subs for Crawley early on.
Yeah. Tony Craig plays it out to this near side. Cerula can't quite get away from his man, but he wins the little deflection off of Umera, and it goes out of play for a Crawley throw. We are just about to hit the 45-minute mark. We'll see how much goes up in terms of stoppage time. 4 additional minutes is what we're going to get. 4 additional minutes. As Harry Ransom comes forward with the ball. Out to that far side for Travis Johnson. Little layoff breaks for Tilley, who slides it back out towards Telford on that far side, but easily covered in the end by Tumulty, who gets it back to Killip. Keeper clears it first time. Jack Powell wins the header. Tilley does well to chest it away from his man towards the edge of the box, gets the shot away, hits the side netting. In fact, took a deflection, and we just talked about the fact we were waiting for a corner kick. It's taken until first half stoppage time, but we have got one now, and it's gone the way of Crawley. Yeah,
I mean, from here for a minute, Gary, I thought that shot had gone in from Tilley, and one or two of the fans in front of me threw their hands in the air. So, but obviously, the side netting.
Well, it was a good position for James Tilley. He did well to chest it away from his man, and we know that he can score from that sort of distance. It was on his favoured left foot, and he got the shot away. Took a little deflection, and Crawley, can they make something of this corner? Jack Powell drives it up to this near side, but it's far too close to goalkeeper Killip, who was able to just grab it under no real pressure at all. Tony Craig was the man that Jack Powell was looking for, coming in around the far post area, but not Jack Powell's greatest moment in terms of that delivery.
No, that's right. I mean, we do struggle a little bit from set plays, I think.
Yeah. Clearance by the keeper out to this near side. Nick Cerula does just enough to apply a little bit of pressure to Hamilton, and the ball goes out of play, and Crawley have a throw right in front of our commentary position. Plenty of the fans already making their way off towards the refreshment kiosks to try and warm themselves up a little bit.
Yeah.
Balagizi gets on the ball and gets it to Hessenthaler, and back it goes into the feet of Ransom. He sweeps it across to that far side for Travis Johnson. Back into the feet of Powell, and back to Johnson again. And back to Harry Ransom. Nick Cerula screaming for the ball on this near side, and he gets it from Ransom in a little bit of space, the Crawley number 25. Forward it goes into the feet of Jaden Davis. Davis being forced backwards though by Sterry, and just finds Tony Craig, who plays it square into the feet of keeper Ellery Balcom. Plays a little 1-2 with Harry Ransom, gets it back again, thinks about giving it to Tony Craig, but in the end clips it out to this near side for Cerula. Cerula gets a good touch down the line. Jaden Davis's touch wasn't as good and took him slightly wide, but he gets it back into the feet of Cerula, and back again to Davis, trying to get round the outside of Menayesi. Left-footed cross into the box, is headed clear. Cerula's going to keep the ball alive though for Crawley on this near side. Inside stoppage time, goes one way, goes the other. Right-footed, gets the cross into the box. And it just goes over the top of everybody and drifts out of play for what will be a Hartlepool goal kick. But it was a decent ball in by Cerula, Ken, when he works it back onto his right foot, which is not a foot we're too used to seeing him play with. Just enough pressure by the Hartlepool defender to put off. I think it was James Tilley trying to come in on the far post.
He was trying to get in from the far post, wasn't he? But just didn't come down from him enough, did it? He sort of scattered over his head as he was running.
Yeah. And it will just be a goal kick, and we must be approaching the end of the 4 minutes. Killip still prefers to just waste a little bit of time, and now takes the goal kick, and Hessenthaler gets beaten in the air, and a little flick lands at the feet of Umera on this near side. Couple of deflections, final deflection off of the Hartlepool striker, and it's going to be a Crawley Town throw just inside their own half. into the feet of Craig, who was under pressure once again from Umera, but he manages to get it square into the feet of Harry Ransom. Plays it forward into opposition territory. Played back to Hessenthaler. He hammers the ball forward, but the whistle has already gone, and that is the half-time whistle blown by Mr. Neild. Crawley have 45 minutes in which to score and pick up a second victory, a back-to-back victory for new boss Matthew Etherington. Crawley, as I say, all in red. Hartlepool, blue and white shirts, white shorts, white socks. Both sides now attacking the goal behind which the bulk of their fans are housed. And it will be Hartlepool who will get the second half off and running, and we are off and underway then here at the Broadfield Stadium for the second half of this Sky Bet League 2 game. Immediately the ball is in Crawley territory. Silla makes an interception, but Balagizi comes away with the ball, and it breaks on that far side for Cerula, who finds Tony Craig, who under a little bit of pressure elects to go back into the feet of Ellery Balcombe. He himself was under pressure, but he gets it clear to Tilly on this near side. He misses his kick. Tumulty can't quite keep it in play, and Tilly in fact tried to keep the ball in play, went over under a challenge from Tumulty, wins his side a very, very early free kick in the opening 30 seconds of this second half. Jack's been in touch at half-time, as per usual, on the social media. Ken's back alongside me. And Jack says, Ken, not much to shout about. Hartlepool being allowed far too much of the ball, and the Reds are lacking any punch up front. I think O-Town early to link up with Dom and James Balagizi, who is looking strong. Come on, you Reds, and just need a bit more determination. Well, we did say, Ken, at the end of the first half that it's relatively even Steven, certainly in terms of the scoreline, and I didn't really look at the possession stats at the break, but I think Keith Kerr will be relatively happy with what his side have done as the away side without an away victory this season in holding Crawley to level terms in the first half.
No, definitely, Gary. Yeah, I thought they were probably the better team, personally, for that 45 minutes. But as you say, or as Jack said, we're looking a little bit vacant up front now, aren't we? We've only got sort of Dom running up and down, Tilly's out wide, and Jaden Davis is out wide the other side. So it's looking a little bit sort of not very settled, is it? No. You know what I mean?
But just like we mentioned in the first half, Ken, I was one or two people in the press room at half-time were just raising their eyebrows slightly at the substitution when Naderson had to go off, and Lynch had to go off as well, that it was Jaden Davis who came on to replace Ashley Naderson, when you've got the likes of Remy Oti and Caleb Chukwuemeka on the bench, who are out-and-out strikers. But
yes, that's right.
If it works out, in a minute, Jaden Davis will probably pop up with a goal and make us swallow our words. Here's Tumulty on his left-hand side. Travis Johnson goes across to make a challenge. Tumulty works hard to keep the ball in play, tight down in his corner flag, and then as he tried to find an angle to lay it back into the feet of Ferguson, he's just run out of a little bit of room, and it's gone out of play for what will be a Crawley Town throw.
I mean, we talked about it in the first half as well, didn't we, Gary? I mean, Hartlepool were playing quite a high line up the pitch, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
I mean, they weren't giving us much time to utilise the ball when the goalkeeper's got it. They had to throw it out to the full-backs and build. Yeah. They were on our backs all the time.
Well, they haven't kept a clean sheet, Hartlepool, in their last 10 games, so no. I guess in that respect they'll be delighted with a clean sheet in the first half. And here's Silla on that far side with a little bit of room to play the ball into the box, and O'Meara got across his man, glanced the header down. Harry Ransom was coming in, just did enough to put O'Meara off. Yep. The header just rolled wide of Ellery Balcombe's goal.
I think Ellery might have had it covered, Gary. Yeah. Had it have been goal bound, but as you say, they're not looking bad going forward, are they, Hartlepool? No, not at all. O'Meara, like we mentioned in the first half, Ken, he's the real danger man. He is.
Because he knows where the back of the net is. In a side that are struggling at the wrong end of the table, he certainly knows where the back of the net is. Cerula turns away from Cook. Decent ball forward into the feet of Jaden Davis, who took it nicely under control. Has a little bit of room to sort of turn and face the Hartlepool goal. Played it back to Balagizi, and in the end it's gone all the way back to Tony Craig, and he's turned and gone all the way back into the feet of Ellery Balcombe. And that's a bit of a shame, Ken, because the impetus of the attack was there when Jaden Davis took control of the ball. Yeah, he looks like he's going to be the player this half, because he's getting the ball now and chesting it off. He looks like the player has been tasked with sort of playing further forward of the midfield people. As you say, all the fans around us, when we had the ball, then were shouting forward, you know. Yeah. They're wanting Crawley to go forward more than keep going back to the goalkeeper. Yeah. Well, I did ask Matthew Etherington after the game last week and the victory over Swindon that, you know, going forward, what can the fans expect to see from a Matthew Etherington side? And he said he wants to play, you know, good attacking football on the front foot, taking the game to the opposition. I mean, he's still only in his second week in charge, Ken. He's still got to sort of settle into things, and you know, he's had to make a couple of changes before tonight, and he's obviously had to make the changes during the course of the game that disrupts the game plan slightly. But Crawley, as the home side, given that Hartlepool are bottom of the table, certainly I would think need to be more on the front foot than they have been in the 49.5 minutes we've had so far.
Definitely, I think we need to be moving the ball forward quicker, and as you say, in a forward motion rather than keep sort of turning back and going back to the goalkeeper or back to the centre half. So no, that's the way we have been playing.
Yeah.
But as you say, we need to just get that ball forward a bit quicker.
Well, like I said to the radio people at half-time, Ken, in the second half, Crawley won the game in the second half last weekend, and they've got to do the same here tonight, haven't they? Still 40 minutes of the game to go.
Excuse me, Gary. Keep getting a tickle in my throat.
As Ellery Balcombe hammers the ball forward from a goal kick. Murray wins the header for Hartlepool. Little flick on by Hamilton, but there was nobody beyond him, and Tony Craig is just able to usher it back to Ellery Balcombe, who does well to get it under control, and he finds Ransom, who helps it on one more into the feet of Travis Johnson. Johnson is bundled over by an over-exuberant Tumulty, and the ball goes out of play.
It's not going anywhere, Gary, though, will we?
No.
It's all just simple all the time.
Yeah. Free kick on the right-hand side for Harry Ransom to take. Came on as a first-half substitute in place of Joel Lynch, who had to go off injured. Passed on the armband, Joel Lynch to Tony Craig. Balcombe's now going to take this ball forward up to the edge of the box. Davis can't quite get there. First header is won by Hartlepool, but it breaks on this near side. Did it go out of play? No, it didn't, but it does now for a Crawley throw. Ferguson managed to scoop it forward, just about prevented the corner kick. Tumulty's come back to win it. He's on his own goal line, scoops it forward, but Travis Johnson makes the interception. Forward into the feet. It's here for Tilley, getting towards the goal line, plays it across the area, breaks for Davis. Couldn't quite get it out of his feet in time, and Hartlepool get the ball clear up to the halfway line. And Tony Craig just jabs it out to that left-hand side for James Tilley. Cerula cutting infield, looking to get to the edge of the box, but has it taken off his toes. Worked out to that far side, but Crawley make the interception, and it breaks for Balagizi. Crawley looking, Ken, like when they come forward, they're looking to be a little bit quicker with the ball.
I think you're right.
Here is Tilley on this left-hand side, who I got mistaken for Nick Cerula just a moment or two ago. I think so. I was keeping an eye on Tilley. He was making the forward run. Johnson tries to play it forward. It takes a little flick off of Tumulty. It goes out of play for what will be a Crawley Town throw. We've played 52 minutes here at the Broadfield Stadium. Powell tries to slide it through to Tilley. Ball goes out of play. It will be a Hartlepool goal kick. Crawley back on their travels, as I mentioned before. Next Saturday, 17th of December, the last game before Christmas for the Reds is away at Prenton Park, the home of Tranmere Rovers. 3 o'clock kickoff on that one, of course. Ken and I are with you on the iFollow from 5 to 3 next Saturday afternoon, as well as all the usual team news, previews and updates throughout the course of the afternoon on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey. Might even wear my Santa hat, Ken, for that one.
I could wear mine as well then.
Yeah. Put my headphones over the top. Telford gets a little touch in field. Tilley can't quite take it in his stride. Harry Ransom gets it up and over the halfway line. Tilley doesn't win it above Menayesi. Ball spending a lot of time in the air at the present time. And now it breaks for Tony Craig, who finds Cerula on that far side. Gets it forward into the feet of Telford. Back it goes to Cerula, forward to Davis, who tried to just roll away from Murray, but it breaks for Featherstone, the Hartlepool captain. He scoops it forward. Amera gets a little touch infield. Crawley do well in the shape of Jack Powell to come back and win it. Tumulty almost comes away with it. Then he charges down the attempted clearance. He's inside the box. He's got a header up and away. And it just drifts wide of the post. Tumulty worked hard to close down the attempted clearance from Crawley, Ken. Then when the ball is up in the air, clever header by the number 26 for Hartlepool. Went over the top of Balcombe, but luckily for Crawley, just drifted the wrong side of the post.
Yeah, he did well to follow that one in, Gary, didn't he? And he obviously got that lucky bounce back. But as you said, it was an excellent header. It just missed the far post. So yeah, that's probably as near as any team have come to scoring today, Gary.
Absolutely. Crawley have taken the goal kick quickly and have worked it out to that far side. Jaden Davis trying to get the better of Menayesi and find a crossing angle over on that far side, which he does. Right-footed, deep cross. Jack Powell can't quite make it. Goes under pressure, goes down under pressure from Tumulty, and in fact the free kick given against the Crawley midfielder. Jalen Davis did well though, Ken. A far on the touchline, worked it back onto his right foot. Decent cross into the box.
He's a very good technical player, Jalen Davis. And, as you say, he did very well there. Just the fact that I think Jack Powell was sort of being lent on a bit when he was trying to get to the ball. And just went out for they didn't get a free kick against him, but
Killick to take this free kick then for Hartlepool. Just over 54 and a half played. Ball reaches Umera on this left-hand side as Hartlepool play right to left. He tries to touch it off for Tumilty, who charges between Johnson and Tilley, drives it into the box. Some appeals for handball against Tony Craig. It was rather driven at the Crawley skipper, and it goes away, and Hartlepool do have a player down who's going to receive just a little bit of treatment. There is still that World Cup quarter-final taking place at the moment between the Netherlands and Argentina. Championship football is back tomorrow, Ken, as well as games in League One. Not too many in League Two. Some games, I'm just looking, have been called off already. Carlisle versus Barrow, match postponed, frozen pitch. Crewe versus Orient, match postponed, frozen pitch. Harrogate versus Northampton is still taking place at 1 o'clock. Rochdale Stockport, game off because of a frozen pitch. Grimsby versus Tranmere, Newport versus Doncaster. Salford versus Walsall is off because of a frozen pitch. Stevenage versus Mansfield, Sutton versus Colchester, and Swindon versus Wimbledon. They're the fixtures in and around League Two tomorrow in those games that are on.
When we think about that, Gary, all the matches that have been called off, I think the weather must be a lot colder up north. Where Hartlepool come from today.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking at it, I mean, I did see the weather forecast the other day, and it did show you that it's going to be really a lot colder up in Scotland and down. So,
well, I think we would have been in trouble, Ken, had this been an away fixture.
Yeah, I think it would have been.
That have been moved on to the Friday night. I think we might have been well on our way to the northeast when it was called off. But fairness to anybody who's made the journey tonight, like we said in the first half, in relation to Hartlepool, players, managers, media team, commentators, supporters, directors, anybody at all.
Well, I know they were given 200 tickets tonight for the game, and Hartlepool, and I mean, there's 200 behind the goal. That's fair play to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you say, some of them might be from our supporters club in London. I know they did have one, did they? When you used to always come down there last game of the season in fancy dress.
Well, Crawley have got a free kick inside the box. Ellery Balcom was trying to take it quickly. Josh Umera was just blocking the route that he wanted to take. He's now being spoken to by the referee. The referee just saying, don't start your time wasting tactics with me. We're still over half an hour of the game to play.
One of them situations where sometimes the players get booked for doing that, don't they? And as you say, we don't want to see anyone get yellow cards as much as we want to see players get red cards.
Ball breaks on the halfway line for Balaghese. 57 and a half played. Crawley 0, Hartlepool 0 in this Sky Bet League 2 fixture. Crawley looking for back-to-back league wins for new boss Matthew Etherington before that game away at Tranmere next weekend. Cerula's trying to win it back on that far side. Silla comes away with it and gets it forward. Tony Craig almost gets caught in possession, but just has enough about him to get it forward. But Silla keeps it alive for Hartlepool. Now Cerula wins it back. It's all very tight on that far touchline. Balaghese now has a little bit of space, and Jack Powell tries to open the game up, slides it forward in the end into the feet of Balaghese, who can't quite take it under control, and Telford was facing the wrong way to see the ball, and it's clipped forward, and Harry Ransom does well to get it under control and strides forward, but just gives it out to that far side for Cerula. 58 gone, still goalless. Could just be one of those games, Ken, where, I mean, both games last year finished 1-0. They both finished 1-0 to Hartlepool. But it could just be one of those games where one goal is going to be enough to decide it for either side here tonight. And you just, well, we hope, obviously, with no disrespect, that it's somebody in a red shirt who's able to pop up and get that goal.
Yeah, definitely.
Balcom gets it out to Tony Craig. He's halfway inside his own half, but there is a Hartlepool player who's gone down on his backside with a head injury. So under the laws of the game, the referee has to stop the game. Tony Craig looking very, very frustrated because he had the ball at his feet with some space. Would have looked for a decent pass forward. Would you think about a change, Ken? Would you think about Remy Oti maybe coming on? I mean, he did enough to pressure the goalkeeper last week into making that error for Swindon, where it broke for Jack Powell for the second Crawley goal.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, we've got two centre forwards on the bench. I mean, why aren't we getting one of them on, you know, with half an hour of the game to go.
Yeah.
So, you know, you would think we would.
Well, Oti has 2 goals to his name so far this season, Ken, but neither of those came in the league. They were 2 goals in the 5-2 victory here against Aston Villa in the Papa John's Trophy, and Chukwuemeka yet to find the back of the net. They're updating the radio listeners just now. Yeah, nothing to choose still between the two sides here, David. We've got a little break in play because there's an injury to Jack Hamilton, the striker for Hartlepool, and in fact they're going to have to make a change here, their first change of the night. Hamilton no longer able to continue, and they're bringing on Joe Gray. We are still goalless. We're just approaching the hour mark. We're just about to hit the hour mark now. I think the longer it goes on, Hartlepool will fancy their chances of maybe nipping something and winning this game 1-0. But Crawley have been a little bit more direct in the second half, playing a little bit more further forward, trying to press the Hartlepool defence. But Hartlepool still had the best chance of the half so far. After 54 minutes, Tumulty charged down a clearance by the Crawley defence and won the header as it dropped out of the sky. But his header, thankfully from a Crawley perspective, went up and over the top of the crossbar. But somebody has got to be a hero in a red shirt here, David, for Crawley to win this one. Hopefully it will come in the next half an hour or so. But at the present time, we are goalless. Crawley 0, Hartlepool 0. Crawley have themselves a throw. Just confirm that substitute then, Ken, that it was Hamilton that went off.
Yep.
And Gray that's come on.
Yeah, that's right.
Just don't know whether that was a substitution that was readied anyway before Hamilton went down with that head injury, where the referee just had to pause the game for a little bit. But that's the change that Keith Kerr has elected to make as he prowls the touchline, the Hartlepool boss. Forward it goes down this near side. The header clear only reaches Powell. Now it reaches James Tilley, who's looking to go out to that left-hand side, and he does that now into the feet of Nick Cerula. Slid forward, and the two number 20s have a little bit of a coming together over on that far side. Balagizi runs the ball out of play. Well, the official on that far side, Ken, indicated a Hartlepool throw, and the referee gave it Crawley's way.
He did.
And it's been taken into the feet of Tilley. Now to Balagizi, who turns it one more out to that far side. Nick Cerula tried to play it into the feet of James Tilley, but now there's a free kick being given Hartlepool's way right over on that far side.
Yep. To be fair to the referee, Gary, he was only 10 yards away, and the assistant on the other side was about 50 yards away. So
yeah,
I suppose you have to give the referee the benefit of the doubt there. But
seem to be mentioning Mohamed Silla's name quite a lot in his second half, Ken, for sort of an attacking threat and doing his defensive duties for the visitors. He did play for one of our other local sides. He had a spell playing for Aldershot as well.
Yeah.
When he played 30 games and scored 2 goals, the French-born midfielder. Also played for Oldham. Just makes me, every time I've mentioned his name so far tonight, it just makes me think of Cilla Black when you say Cilla. Coming forward with the ball.
Yeah.
Let's hope he doesn't come up with a goal, Ken, because that would be a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah.
You knew that one was coming, didn't you?
I know, yeah.
Yeah, you knew that was going to come.
Yeah, we don't go on any blind dates, do we?
No, exactly. Definitely not. He doesn't have a goal to his name yet so far this season.
No.
The French-born midfielder. Let's hope it stays that way in the time that we've got remaining here at the Broadfield Stadium tonight, where it is still goalless. In this rearranged League 2 fixture. The return fixture, actually, between these two sides, the game up at the Suit Direct Stadium, is 22nd of April 2023, so very late on in the season.
Nearly the end of the season,
yeah. Well, we are getting to that stage now, Ken, where I'll try and mirror away next week as Silla tries to play the ball around to that far side. Sterry's got to the goal line, takes a deflection off of Nick Cerula, it goes out of play, and Hartlepool have earned their first corner kick of the evening. It's only one apiece in terms of corners. I was going to say, we are getting to that stage of the season. I think there's only Tranmere and Sutton that Crawley need to play, and then they'll have played everybody in the league, and you'll sort of be at that halfway point of the season. Matt Etherington just directing where he wants his troops to be from defending this corner. Dom Telford has been left as the lone striker as the ball is swung in from that far side. There's a free header, and it's in the back of the net, and Menayesi has scored, and Crawley Town's clean sheets run at home has come to an end here in the 64th minute. Menayesi from the corner kick on the far side nods it home, and the visitors take the lead from their first corner kick of the night, Ken.
Yeah.
And Hartlepool strike again here at the Broadfield Stadium, and are they closing in on their first away victory of the season? They now have something to protect. 64 minutes gone. It is Crawley Town 0, Hartlepool 1.
Yeah, lovely header, Gary, wasn't it? The far post. He was right at the back of the group though, wasn't he? And just had to really head it down.
Yeah.
And it was winning at the far post. So yeah, some work to do now for Crawley in this last 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
well, he's on loan at Hartlepool from Walsall, the big defender. And he was unmarked when the ball came in from the corner kick, Ken. Some questionable defending by Crawley Town.
Yep.
But Menayesi wasn't messing about and headed it right into the bottom.
I mean, that's where we miss Joel Lynch in that sort of situation. He's sort of like probably our best centre-half for taking control of those situations. But when he's injured off the pitch, there's nothing we can do about it.
Well, we talked about the potential substitutions, Ken, of Ote or Chukwuemeka coming on.
Yep.
Surely within the next 5 minutes or so, if Crawley don't get themselves back on level terms quickly, one of those two is surely going to have to come onto the field of play. Crawley looking to get back into it quickly though. They've worked it back here to Davis. Bends the ball into the box. It takes a little flick. It's going to go out of play for what will be Crawley's second corner kick of the evening. And Crawley looked to do, in response, Ken, exactly what Hartlepool did to them just 2 minutes ago.
Well, we would hope so, Gary, wouldn't we? All the big lads have gone forward, haven't they? And they're going to leave two back on there and one man that's up.
Yeah. James Tilley's going to swing this one in from this right-hand side. Left-footed, it goes into the penalty area. Cleared away. Tilley's going to get a second opportunity. Gets it under control. Drives it goalwards. Davis was coming in on the far post, but I think Tilley was actually having a shot at goal, Ken. And sort of, in the end, it was neither a shot nor a cross, and it just drifted away for what will be a Hartlepool goal kick.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was trying to do there, Gary, but whatever it was, it didn't work out. But as you say...
Well, there is a substitution being readied here by Matt Etherington, but it's neither Ote nor Chukwuemeka. It's Mazida Gongbo who's coming onto the field of play, but also Chukwuemeka as well is also coming on. So it's going to be another double change as we wait to see what numbers go up. Well, Chukwuemeka is coming on for Jack Powell. We've just ticked over 66.5 minutes. So Jack Powell is off. Chukwuemeka is on. Ogungbo is stripped and ready to come on as well. Chukwuemeka wearing number 50 and Ogungbo wearing number 44. He's replacing Nick Cerula, who will just make his way off on that far side. So the two goal scorers from last week, Ken, have suddenly been withdrawn.
He might be going to play on flat three at the back, Gary. And
possibly.
Some more players in midfield.
Well, it's raised a few eyebrows and some questionable remarks from the fans around us here in the West Stand.
Especially the Nick Cerula one,
Yeah.
I mean, one of our better players, I think, in the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah. Well, he's a big fan's favourite, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
As well. Here's Ogungbo, gets an early touch and gets it out to that far side for Jaden Davis. Chukwuemeka seems to be occupying an area just sort of central midfield, as it were.
Yeah.
As Nick Cerula just makes his way behind the goal away to our right-hand side in front of those Crawley fans in the Eden Utility stand. It might be, as you quite rightly say, Ken, it doesn't look like it at the moment. It looks like Ogungbo's been a straight swap for Cerula at left back. Because when he came on, I was with you and thought that Crawley might go to a back three, push Travis Johnson further forward and make Ogungbo play just inside, alongside Craig and Ransom. Crawley looked to break forward on that far side. The ball is on the floor. Menayesi has a little bit of a kick at the ball, but also looked like he had a little bit of a kick at Ogungbo. Referee having none of it though, and it's out of play for what will be just a throw.
I think that's where Chukwuemeka likes to play, Gary, though. I think he sees himself more of an attacking midfield player than a centre forward recently.
Well, we've got 22 minutes of the 90 to go. And Crawley find themselves a goal behind. Well, like I said earlier on, Ken, both games last season finished 1-0 to Hartlepool. And that's the scoreline we have at the present time that we're hoping will change in Crawley's favour, obviously, before the end of the 90 minutes. But this is where I guess Hartlepool will now start to take their time doing everything, won't they?
They've already started that, Gary, yes.
Run the clock down. As the ball is hooked up and over the top, and Amira's going to get there and almost get it square. Travis Johnson just about got in an interception, but Hartlepool forced their second corner kick of the evening. And Cook has gone across to take it, and Meniesi is making his way forward once again, as is Murray, one of the other central defenders. And you just hope that Crawley defend this one a little bit better than they did the one after 64 minutes. Once again though, Cook into the near post. Crawley don't quite get on the first ball. Ferguson tries to get it back out to that far side. Ball deflects away for what will be a Hartlepool throw over on that far side. Meniesi and Ferguson and Murray make their way back now to do any possible defending that they might have to do. 20 minutes to go here at the Broadfield Stadium. Crawley 0, Hartlepool 1. Roland Meniesi with the header from a corner kick. After 64 minutes is the goal that currently divides the two sides. And they've worked their way about 10 yards along the touchline on that far side, have Hartlepool, and the throw forward is just shepherded out of play by Harry Ransom. And Ellery Balcom will have the opportunity to take a goal kick. Chukwuemeka's made his way out onto this right-hand side. Tilley and Balagizi in the centre circle, and Jaden Davis out on the left. Hessenthaler, of course, still out there as well in terms of midfielders for Crawley, as Sterry wins it from the goal kick and just jabs it out of play over on that far side. Throw taken infield to Balagizi, gets it back again to Ogungbo, plays it back into Balagizi again. And here's Ransom, halfway inside his own half. Travis Johnson looked like he might make the run beyond the fullback, but Ransom holds the ball up. Telford can't quite get there. Tilley makes an interception just on the edge of the centre circle, then overruns it, and Cook turns away with the ball. Plays it out to this left-hand side for Hartlepool. Amira's trying to get the better of Travis Johnson. Holds the ball up and just plays it back into the feet of David Ferguson, approaching 100 appearances. The fullback, the central defender as he is tonight, David Ferguson, but approaching 100 appearances for Hartlepool. And Crawley have got themselves a free kick just on the right-hand side, halfway inside their own half. Hessenthaler goes back into the feet of Balcom, who pings one out to that left-hand side, but it doesn't beat the first man. Cook nods it out of play before Ogungbo could get there, and Crawley have a throw right on the halfway line. Back it goes from Ogungbo into the feet of Tony Craig. 72 minutes gone. 18 minutes of the 90 to go for Crawley to find, at the very least, an equaliser. Hessenthaler, Craig and Tilley just trying some nice little triangles out there, Ken, with the ball, but not really making any progress. Ball is pinged out towards this near side. Tumulty wins the header though before it reaches Chukwuemeka. Balagizi leaves it for Travis Johnson. Silla almost makes an interception. Balagizi goes back into the feet of Harry Ransom. And he gets it square once again to Balcom. Balcom goes out to that far side. Crawley have surely got to start throwing a little bit of caution to the wind, Ken, haven't they? And playing a little bit further forward. Ken's got a little bit of a frog in the throat just at the moment. As Crawley work it out to that left-hand side for Mazid Ogungbo. Hartlepool trying to get men back behind the ball. Here's Tilley. Here's Davis on that far side, trying to get away from the attentions of Sterry. Sterry comes away with the ball and gets it back to Meniesi. And Crawley have a throw over on that far side. Taken short into the feet of Meniesi. Jaden Davis escapes his man. Was he held back? Referee says no. Play goes on. Hartlepool get it clear up towards the halfway line, and now they hammer it into the Crawley territory. Well, those fans behind that goal away to our left-hand side, we talked about how far it is back to Hartlepool. They won't mind the journey back at all if that's the journey they have got to make at the final whistle tonight. Throw taken in to Telford. Tilley gets on the ball on the halfway line. Gets it back into the feet of Harry Ransom, just approaching 74 minutes played. Crawley 0, Hartlepool 1. Here's Chukwuemeka on this near side. Was he fouled? Yes, he was. The ball ran out of play, but it will be a free kick. Matt Etherington urges Travis Johnson to take it quickly. Here's Balagizi. just almost fell over the ball just a wee bit, but he gets it back to Hessenthaler, into the feet of Tilly. Every single blue and white shirted player back behind the ball. Crawley are going to have to be very cute if they're going to try and make a breakthrough here in the time that remains. Here's Balagizi, halfway inside the opposition half. Chukwuemeka made the run forward. Travis Johnson gets it and goes in field though. It's driven forward. Telford tries to seize on the mistake. Ferguson gets it back to Killip. Killip gets it out towards this near side. Travis Johnson needs to not commit a foul. Ball goes out of play. Linesman indicates it is going to be a Hartlepool throw. Right in front of our commentary position, and Tumulty is taking his time to take the throw, as you would expect from a side that are maybe closing in on their first away victory of the season with 15 minutes to go. They lead by 1-0, courtesy of a goal by Meniesi. Here's Telford though, just outside the box on the right hand side, turns, gets it square. James Tilley shooting position for the number 7, but he was forced slightly wide. He's still got the ball, he drifts infield, gets the shot away with his right foot, the deflection, breaks for Jaden Davis on that far side, he goes over. Crawley have a free kick in a dangerous area, and I thought that was a great shooting opportunity for James Tilley, Ken, but credit to the Hartlepool defender, he wouldn't let Tilley get the shot away.
Forced him out wide, Gary, didn't he? Sorry about that, I had a bit of a frog in my throat.
That's all right.
Gary.
That's okay.
I don't know what happened there, but as you say, we're not getting enough people up around Dom Telford to give him a chance. We need to, all the fans around us are shouting, get more people forward, get more to help Telford out, if they can get the ball into him. But apart from obviously they've got the free kick now, the chance to get it in, but we're not sort of putting enough players forward, I don't think.
No. Well, there's plenty of red shirts in the box now. Chukwuemeka's in there, Davis is in there, Craig, Ransom, Telford's there as well. James Tilley is going to take this free kick from the far side. Hartlepool trying to keep their line just in front of the 6-yard area. James Tilley has to look for a quality delivery, pings it in, headed away, doesn't quite break for Davis on the edge of the box. The clearance is going to break only for Travis Johnson. Has time to get it under control. Goes square into the centre circle, into the feet of Ogumbo. He plays it short to Balagizi. Balagizi turns and, to the disappointment of the home fans, goes back to Larry Balcom, who plays the ball out to that far side. They go straight over the top of James Tilley and out of play for what will be a throw to the visitors.
I mean, lots of players on the edge of the box there, Gary, and the fans were willing them to get the ball over towards the edge of the box, and it didn't quite work out again, because instead of going forward, we went backwards.
Yeah. Well, they're making another change here at Hartlepool, and it's Josh Umera who's gone off, and it's the number 11, Wes McDonald, who's come on to the field of play. Umera not adding to his season's tally of 10 goals so far this evening, Ken, but he's worked hard, the striker. His evening is done, but I guess he really won't mind if his side hold on to this victory.
He's sort of had to work hard on his own up there as well, Gary, hasn't he? But, you know, neither team have been pushing that many people forward.
13 minutes to go. Crawley 0, Hartlepool 1. The ball is back with Killip inside his own area. Hammers it into Crawley territory. Tony Craig wins the header. Hessenthaler jabs it to the right-hand side for Travis Johnson. Forward it goes towards Jaden Davis, but it goes away from the Crawley number 18. Ferguson able to tidy up in the left-back area for Hartlepool. Johnson wins the header. Infield it goes. Hessenthaler gets it under control. Travis Johnson under a little bit of pressure from Gray, and the ball goes out of play. And it will be a throw to Crawley, and Travis Johnson has stolen about 5 or 6 yards down the touchline. Jake Hessenthaler very, very frustrated, either with the referee or with his teammate, that decision, Ken.
Yeah,
now he gets the ball.
I mean, all the teams do it now, Gary, don't they? They pick the ball up and take a bit of a run with it before they let go of it.
Crawley have worked it from right to left, back into the edge of the box for Hessenthaler. Gets it out to that far side. Ogumbo's got a bit of time and space. Into the box it comes. Header goes away and breaks for Johnson on the edge of the penalty area. Slides it forward down this near side for Chukwuemeka. Into the feet of Davis. Here's James Tilley, edge of the box on the right-hand side, looking to duck infield and get that shooting position on his favoured left foot. Now Harry Ransom clips one forward down this near side, headed away by the Hartlepool defence. Ransom gets it under control, plays it infield to Chukwuemeka. 79 minutes played. Crawley 0, Hartlepool 1. Here's Hessenthaler. Hartlepool doing well to get men back behind the ball and making it very, very hard, Ken, for Crawley to break them down at the moment.
Yeah. All 11 men behind the ball at the moment, Gary, as we're coming forward.
And then they pinch it like that and they have the opportunity for a counter-attack, but luckily Crawley have won it back. Can there be somebody in a red shirt who steps up to find, at the very least, an equaliser? Here's Tilly, turns away from his man, edge of the box, drives it, it's blocked away though by the man whose goal currently divides the two sides in the shape of Menayesi, and Silla plays one out to that far side, and the two number 12s, Gray and Ransom, chasing the ball. Gray gets there before the Crawley man, holds it up, Tumulty coming into play on the edge of the penalty area. Little deflection comes off of a Crawley player, goes out of play for what will be Hartlepool's third corner kick of the evening, and they won't be in any rush at all to take this one, Ken.
No, that's right. 10 minutes to go, Gary, and they're not too many of their men going forward like they did for the goal. I think they're going to leave 3 or 4 back. To Mark Dom Telford. Poor old Dom down there on his own most of the game. Not anyone really around him helping him.
Once again, it's Cook with the corner kick. In it comes to the Crawley area. There's a second header, and they've doubled their lead, and they are surely now, Hartlepool, closing in on their first away victory of the season inside the last 10 minutes, and those fans behind the goal away to our left-hand side are absolutely delighted. It's an absolute case of deja vu, Ken. Corner from the right-hand side, into the box. Crawley not defending it very well, and nodded, thumped past Ellery Balcombe into the back of the net, and the visitors lead by 2 goals to 0.
Yeah, I see the Hartlepool fans are being elated behind the goal, and if you look at our end, at the home end, and it's looks like most of them are going home, Gary.
Well, yeah, everyone's just start to filter out just a wee bit, aren't they?
Yeah, which is a bit silly. 81 minutes to go. There's Brian Clough used to say he takes a second to score a goal.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see how many are there if we do score.
Well, it was a case, really, Ken, of Crawley not learning their lesson from the first corner kick. They've only had 3 corner kicks tonight, Hartlepool, and they've scored from 2 of them.
Yeah.
And Crawley have really got a chase on their hands now.
And it was a corner kick that sort of by going backwards, we needed to see gave away again, Gary.
Yeah.
You know, sort of one of those things where we shouldn't be giving away corner kicks in that sort of positioning.
Well, we will get reaction from Matt Etherington after the game. Looking back on this one and looking ahead to the game away at Tranmere next week. But I guess for Matt, after it's a case of after the Lord Mayor show, Ken, isn't it? You know, great victory in his first game, and suddenly, welcome to the world of League 2 football.
Yeah, that's right.
Crawley have not been able to break down a very, very resolute Hartlepool defence at the present time.
You know, when you look back on the game, Gary, I'm sure the main topic of conversation for the people that I see outside of the football stadium, they'll be talking about the 2 early substitutes of Lynch and Allison that we had to make.
Yeah.
And they were saying that contributed towards like the end of the game.
Yeah. Did it affect the play, I guess, is what they're going to say.
That's exactly, yeah. You know, without that, we sort of haven't looked really like it, have we? I don't think.
Well, I'm just looking at the BBC stats, Ken, and it's the second goal has gone down as an own goal by Travis Johnson.
Oh, is it?
I thought it was Ferguson who came thumping in with a header from his defensive position. It was difficult to see, obviously, in a crowd of players, but it's gone down as an own goal by the Crawley number 23, and that's the second goal for the visitors, and one that surely sort of wraps up the game for them now, with the clock saying just over 83 minutes played.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're going to be defence now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Not even going to give us a looking, I wouldn't have thought.
You never know though, Ken, a goal in the next minute or 90 seconds.
Yeah, let's be positive, I suppose.
Sets it up for a grandstand finish. Anything can happen, because that World Cup quarter-final has gone to extra time tonight as well.
Has it? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a little bit of a stunning comeback by one of the sides there, late on in the game.
Yeah, you're right.
Crawley 0, Hartlepool 2. The clock says 84 minutes played. But you can just sense, Ken, all the way around the ground, can't you, the disappointment that everyone connected with Crawley tonight.
Yeah.
Thought they just had to turn up to take the points.
Yeah.
And we said at the top of the commentary, it's not that straightforward.
No, it isn't. A team bottom of the league or wherever they are in the league. In this league, you know, anyone can beat anybody, as we said at the beginning.
Yeah.
And let's hope we can score a couple of late goals and make all the people that have gone home from behind all around the stadium wish they'd stayed.
Travis Johnson bundled over on this near side by Gray. Will be a free kick to Crawley in their right back area, but as the clock is ticking down, it's maybe becoming a little bit too late for everything for Crawley Town, as the header is cleared. It's now on the edge of the box with Telford. He gets it out to that left hand side. Here's Tilley, pulls it back, but it's Menayesi who's in the way.
No one there.
No, I think he played it back into the right area, Tilley.
Yeah, he did, but none of our players
No.
there.
Hessenthaler tries to play it through. Menayesi on the edge of his own box again. Gets it under control and then gets it away, and Tony Craig inside the centre circle turns and gets it back into the feet of Ellery Balcombe. Balcombe out to that far side looking for Tilley, but it drifts over the head of both him and Sterry. And Sterry in that right back area in front of the East Stand on that far side gets it clear. Crawley do win the header, and it breaks for Balagizi in the centre circle. 85 and a half played here at the Broadfield Stadium. Crawley 0, Hartlepool 2. Forward on this near side, Jaden Davis can't quite turn away with the ball. Balagizi makes an interception, then has to go back into the feet of Harry Ransom. The thoughts of Matthew Etherington after the game tonight. You will be able to hear clips of that on BBC Radio Sussex and BBC Radio Surrey over the next few days, and also in the build-up to the game away at Tranmere Rovers next weekend. A look ahead to that game as well, before Sutton come here on Boxing Day, and then it's Stevenage away. Stevenage still flying high towards the top end of the table.
Yeah, they still are, yeah.
Surprised many people with the consistency they've shown. Of course, they won here early on in the season by 2-1.
Steve Evans certainly knows how to get a team playing, Gary.
Yeah, he does, yeah. Balagizi on the ball for Crawley, up against his opposing number 20, Silla, who comes away with the ball. France beating England to that one. Let's hope that's not a metaphor for tomorrow night. Agumbo comes away with the ball. A little bit of a step over, nothing really to aim at ahead of him. So he has to go back into the feet of Jake Hessenthaler, who breaks over the halfway line. Out to that far side for James Tilley. Approaching 87 minutes on the clock. Crawley 0, Hartlepool 2. Both goals from corners. As Harry Ransom breaks forward on this right-hand side. Tight to this near touchline. He just about does enough to hold the ball up. Draws in the challenge from his opposite number 12, which is Gray. Ball goes out of play for a Crawley throw. Square by Hessenthaler into the centre circle for Tony Craig. Here's Balagizi. Out to that left-hand side for Agumbo. Back into the feet of Balagizi again. Once again, though, Ken, fairness to Hartlepool, they're keeping a good shape and getting men back behind the ball. Telford plays it round the corner. Just had confirmation of the attendance, Ken. 1,955 people here tonight, with 128 away supporters, who at the moment will be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, well, fair play to anyone who's come out on the coldest night of the year so far to watch this game. Home and away fans. Obviously, as you say, the away fans will be the one that are going home happy.
James Tilley trying to close the ball down. Cook pinched it far too easily. Menayesi gets it forward. Tony Craig just lets it drift over him. 88 minutes gone, 2 minutes of the 90 to go, plus whatever gets added on. If Crawley are going to get anything from this game, Ken, it's going to have to be a real late show now.
Yeah, and I still don't think we're getting the ball forward enough quicker, Gary. I mean,
no.
Dom hasn't really had a look in tonight, but he's been up there on his own, no one around him. So virtually the whole game.
Here is Telford, just outside the area, to the left-hand side for Chukwuemeka. Breaks into the box, rather trips over the ball, then Murray is able to hammer it away. Taken under control by Tony Craig, who turns it to his right-hand side. And it's Harry Ransom, who dribbles over the halfway line. Out to this near side for Jaden Davis, trying to find a crossing angle. Holds it up, but plays it in field in the end, but it's well away from Travis Johnson. And Tumulty gets it played forward. James Balagizi wins it. Away they come with the ball though again, Hartlepool, and it's slid forward into the feet of Tumulty, who slides it forward down this left-hand side. But I guess for Hartlepool, Ken, if the ball's in the Crawley half of the field,
right,
then Crawley can't do any damage to the Hartlepool goal, can they?
Although what they want to do is get the ball away, don't they? Get it out of their half.
Yeah.
And,
we're still playing, David. We've got 30 seconds of the 90 minutes to go. Okay, that's fine. Tony Craig gets the ball square to Harry Ransom. Harry Ransom comes over the halfway line and pings the ball out to that far side. Taken under control nicely by Chukwuemeka, who's trying to get the better of Sterry. Holds the ball up and gets it back into the feet of Hessenthaler. Here's Chukwuemeka again. 4 additional minutes is what we're going to get. Here's Jaden Davis inside the box. It won't quite break for a red shirt for a shooting opportunity. And Sterry in the end in the right back area for Hartlepool gets it up towards the halfway line. 4 minutes of stoppage time to be played then. And Crawley trail by 2-0 here against Hartlepool United. Here's Tilley on the ball, halfway inside the Hartlepool half. Gets it into the feet of Chukwuemeka, twisted and turning over on that far side, the big striker. Tries to find Jaden Davis, but the interception is made by that man Silla again, Ken.
Yep. He's been everywhere, hasn't he?
Yep. Now here's Tilley. Little bit of space for the Crawley number 7 to run into on that left-hand side of the box. Here's Ogungbo, tries to feed Chukwuemeka, has it taken off his toes though. Jaden Davis picks up the pieces, gets to the goal line, pulls it back, and Sterry hammers it away to safety, out for a Crawley throw over on that far side. And they decide to make a substitution now, and they are taking off their number 10, which is Callum Cook, and they're bringing on the number 7, Jake Hasty, who was one of the changes that was made by Keith Curl in terms of the starting 11 tonight. Hasty coming on for these closing stages of the game then, just really to see the game out for the visitors. Here's Tilley on the ball, just outside the box. Back to Balagizi. Out to that far side. Appeals for offside. Ogungbo gets to the goal line, tries to pull it back. Tilley gets the header, but it's straight into the gloves of goalkeeper Killip. And some ironic cheers and applause, Ken, from all around us.
A shot on goal, Gary.
Because it is an effort on target by midfielder James Tilley.
Wow.
Anywhere else, I think it might have found the back of the net, Ken, but it was straight into the gloves of where the keeper was waiting.
Yeah. It's one of those sort of headers you want to fall to a more powerful sort of player, isn't it? You know.
Hammered forward by Killip. Little back header is going to reach Ellery Balcom, as Hartlepool didn't really apply any pressure to the ball in the final third. Balcom comes out to this near side. Forward towards Telford. He can't quite get it under control. And in the end, Murray goes back to Killip. We've played just over 2 minutes of the additional 4. I think safe to say, Ken, that it's not going to go Crawley's way tonight.
No, I think 2-0, I think it's going to be the final score, Gary, and I'm sure the new manager will be, as you say, not very pleased with poor performance after the 2-0 win against Swindon in the first game.
Yeah.
I think he's got some work to do.
Tumulty with the throw down the line. A little flick on by Silla. Ransom wins it for Crawley. Tumulty nods it forward again. A little bit of head tennis between everybody at the moment. Gray slides it forward looking for McDonald. Tied it up by Harry Ransom. Back into the feet of Ellery Balcom, and he gets it out to the far side. Ogungbo with a little bit of trickery into the feet of Balagizi. Still halfway inside his own half though. Even if Crawley get one back now, Ken, it won't be any more than a consolation, will it?
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Because there won't be time enough, I wouldn't think, to take the kickoff.
No.
Here's Ogungbo. We're still inside stoppage time at the moment, David. My stopwatch tells me that we've got about 30 seconds to play. Crawley have forced their 3rd corner kick of the evening, but they are trailing here, David, by 2-0. I think I didn't predict a 2-0 victory at half-time, but I didn't expect it going the way that it has gone. But just stick with us until the final whistle, if you can, as Crawley play the ball in. Can't quite get it on the edge of the box. Referee has a look at the watch. Hartlepool have scored both of their goals from corner kicks. The first one came after 64 minutes as Tilley plays the ball in for Crawley, and Chukwuemeka puts it wide of the post. The offside flag had gone up on this near side anyway, and it is an offside decision. It will be a free kick to the visitors, and referee Mr. Neild blows the full-time whistle, David, and you can probably hear the boos ringing out here around the Broadfield Stadium, because Hartlepool, the bottom side, have picked up their first away victory of the season. A goal by defender Menny Yessi after 64 minutes from a corner, and then an own goal by defender Travis Johnson for Crawley after 81 minutes, again from a corner kick, have given the away side their first away win of the season, and the 128 travelling fans in a crowd of 1,955 will make their way back to the northeast very, very happy.